Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are in Amrutanubhava, Ajnana Khandana, Ignorance Denied, verse number 74, OV number 74. Last week we saw that we do not pursue Paramatma, Brahman, reality, Paramashiva, whatever word you use, to prove that the world is. We do not seek the truth to deny the world. We do not seek the truth to remove ignorance. That is not our purpose. Ignorance ignorance is a phenomenon, unmanifest, manifest. Our job is to, if we are thinking I have to remove ignorance, then I will come to know the reality, then we are knocking on the wrong door. You will remain in relativity. But if you recognize subjectively the Atmic self, for the sake of Atmic self, you seek the consciousness to be the consciousness, no regard for anything else, then we are on the right path. And in this way, we want to come to a point where we have no doubt as to who we are. We are not here to argue, we are not here to negotiate through the world to be the self. We are not here to negotiate the world. That negotiation is only as long as you think you are the individual. How long does it take for the individual to be the infinite? Instantaneous. Shift the attention, be it, accept, and stay there. Well, there is no staying there also afterwards. But so this must be very clear. We are not studying scriptures to remove ignorance, to disprove ignorance, but it is a positive approach. It's not a negative approach. Negative approach, remove or disprove ignorance. Positive approach, to be the consciousness that we are. That's why we are thinking of Paramatma. That's why we are talking of Paramatma. If this is clear, then we can go ahead. Hence, the inquiry continues to remove all possible doubts and weaknesses in the knowledge. He says, Zai saye chiye tsade, dahulize dudhache bhande, tai dise ki vighade, tai se he par. If one stirs milk to collect the upper layer of cream, will he ever be able to do it? Similarly, even if one inquires to any depth, one will never see the ignorance. How beautiful Jnaneshwar Maharaj has given the example. If you keep moving the milk in the pot or the gas or the stove, will you ever get the cream? You have to allow it to be. But if you keep stirring the surface, you will never get the cream that you are seeking. Same way, where is our surface? Now apply it to yourself. Where is your surface? Your surface is your senses. If you keep stirring up your senses and the mind, with what? With this spoon of seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, tasting, thinking, imagining. Where are the waves on the ocean? Only on the surface. Where are these stimuli? Only on the surface of our personality at the relative level. And if we keep stirring that without sitting still, like the pot with the fire under its bum, we also ignite the fire ready to take off. Well, what does that mean? That you're literally sitting on the fire? No. With your attention not going to the surface, but your attention is on the depth of your personality, the conscious principle. And there and then it will happen. There and then the revelation will happen that you are not this individual. Again, I am going wrong. This will not happen that you are not the individual. You will be the one. That's it. There is no question of I am not the individual. If those thoughts are coming, you have to bypass them. Oh, my individuality is melting. Oh, I am becoming expanding. Leave those thoughts away, because if you think of those thoughts, if you give heed to those thoughts, again you will be back into relativity. You have to maintain still, because if you give attention to those thoughts, again you are skimming the surface, you are stirring the surface. First it was the individual surface, now it's the total surface, but you are still on the surface only. Thoughts are only on the as if they appear on the surface of consciousness, just as the wave as if appears on the surface of the waters. Just as when you touch, feel, taste wave, you are touching, feeling, tasting, experiencing the waters. Exactly the same way, we have to come to this position that there is nothing but consciousness. For that, the required stillness, the required firmness in our resolve that I am that, and do not come down from that level. Do not come down to the thought, into the mind. Do not come down to the world, the senses. Here Swamiji says, if one wants to collect the cream from the milk, one should leave the boiled milk undisturbed for the cream to form and float. But if one goes on stirring the milk to find out where the cream is, the milk will never yield the cream. In the same way, the moment the inquiry is conducted about the presence of ignorance in pure consciousness, the ignorance can never surface in the presence of divine consciousness. He's taking it the other way around. If you can take, I took the cream as the cream of nectar, that is the, in that sense I took it, makhan, I took it in that sense. Here Swamiji is taking the cream as the ignorance. An example is given to emphasize this point. Na need dharaya hati cheuni uthila zhadati tela bhe ki thiti na sili hoya. Or if one wakes up quickly to catch the sleep, will it be possible, or will he destroy the sleep? Think. This experiment must go on incessantly every night and every morning. Catch the sleep, and after, while going to sleep, catch the sleep. Don't think I am sleeping, I am sleeping, I am sleeping. No, catch the mind going to sleep. Be conscious of the mind going to sleep. And when you wake up, be conscious of the mind which is still empty, because the world hasn't entered into it yet. This will only happen when you sincerely recognize that these two wonderful opportunities are available with us on a daily basis, where without doing any sadhana, naturally we have the opportunity to be. It is the window available for us to be without performing any exercise. No physical exercise, no breath exercise, no thought exercise. Or if someone wants to catch sleep and therefore gets out of sleep, can he catch it? Can you catch sleep? Is there something called sleep? We use these words, isn't it? That just now I used it, that when you go to sleep, be aware of this mind going to sleep. But is there anything called sleep? What is our understanding of sleep? Emptiness, nothingness, absence of waking and dream. Is absence an object of cognition? Can you witness absence? Can you witness absence? Think. The moment the last thought in your mind subsides while going to sleep, if your understanding is clear and you are being the subject, you're being the consciousness, you're observing, you can observe object, but you cannot observe absence of object. So what do scriptures say? That when the last thought which was under your observation, suppose it is a japa, Om, and the Om subsides, then after that what? After that there is no thing called absence. Absence is not a thing. Then it is pure consciousness, inside, outside. But we are so much in love with sleep, we duplicate it as, oh, there was nothing, I was observing the void. Whom are you fooling that you are observing the void? Is void a thing to be observed? This shift in our approach is required. You are using the worldly language where world is not available. See? If someone wants to catch sleep and therefore gets out of sleep, can he catch it? He can never do so, since he has already renounced the deep sleep state of consciousness. How can you catch sleep? We use these words: catch the sleep while going to sleep. Be aware of the sleep while going to sleep. Be witness of the mind becoming unmanifest. And you also, yes, we also said to Swamiji, yes, yes, yes. But that yes has got no meaning. It's only intellectual understanding that yes, we have to catch, we have to be awake, we have to be alert, we have to be vigilant of the last thought that is coming and going. And we are nodding because the words of the teacher are coming to us and we are responding to those words. Yes, yes, I understand. But when that last thought goes away, then what? Then only the self is. One cannot catch sleep either while in deep sleep state or when out of it. In the deep sleep state, the experience is I know nothing, so one cannot catch. How do you say that I know nothing? Are you thinking I know nothing when you are in sleep? No, only after waking up you say that I know I don't know anything. See? I know nothing, so one cannot catch sleep in that state of not knowing, and one wakes up, the sleep is already gone, and therefore it is impossible to catch. So while sleeping, you cannot know that sleep is, and after waking up, you cannot catch the sleep because it's only a thought. It is not your experience. Waker cannot have the experience of deep sleep. The waking mind cannot have the experience of deep sleep. Actually, which is the waker, which is the experience is for the waker. In deep sleep, the waker is not available, the dreamer is not available. See? So what is this language that I had a good sleep, that I slept last night, it was a wonderful, refreshing sleep. Now I'm all rejuvenated. Now I'm ready to take on the world. I'm well rested. It's all blabbering. The sleep is already gone and therefore impossible to catch. So when we wake up, sleep is gone. It's only the memory that you are repeating. It's a sense that there was nothing, meaning there was no objects, meaning there was no waking available, there was no dream available. What is waking and dream? Nothing but thoughts in your mind. The whole world in the waking is appearing only as thoughts. The whole dream is only, you know it only by way of thoughts. It is only thoughts. The only difference between waking and dream, which we have told you before many times, in the waking, the object of experience and the experience of object. The object of experience is outside of you and the experience of the object is inside of you. This laptop is there, this laptop is outside of my mind, and the word laptop is in my mind. The object and the thought are separated. One is inside, one is outside. In the dream, the thought laptop is also in the mind and the laptop is also in the mind. That's all. If you remember. But this is also a phenomena only. Because of grossification, these differences have come. In the subtle, the differences are there, but are not separated in the gross way. And in the deep sleep, there are no differences. In the same way, when one is rooted in ignorance and wants to know ignorance, it is not possible. This is what Adi Shankaracharya says. So, stop the pursuit of knowing ignorance. Stop the pursuit of removing ignorance. Stop the pursuit of disproving ignorance. From the non-apprehension came misapprehension. From the forgetfulness of the self came the projection of the world. All that language is good in the beginning. Only in the beginning. You can't keep repeating 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4, all the way to PhD. You can't keep talking about karmanyevadhikaraste till the end. Now it's over. If that principle has to be, then when you are thinking that I am the self, don't seek an experience, don't seek a result. Ma phaleshu kada, don't seek a result. Then only it will happen. But our attention is only on physical activity. And we think mental activity is not activity. That is also activity. You are thinking. You are doing. You are the thinker. No, but I am thinking about God. I want His darshan. I am thinking about the self. I want Atma Sakshatkar. That means you are seeking result. And what was the first lesson? Perform the action, but do not expect a result. Here we are expecting still. भैया उसको you apply it properly. भेड़ चाल में से निकल जाओ. भेड़ चाल means all the sheep mentality. Everyone is going to satsang, everyone is going to lectures, everyone is अच्छा ये अच्छा है, वो अच्छा है, ये अच्छा नहीं है, वो अच्छा है, इधर जोक्स हैं, उधर जोक्स नहीं है, ये ज़्यादा सीरियस है, वो ज़्यादा सीरियस. We are only going to the satsangs or only going to the YouTube channels only to judge, only to validate that this fellow is a good speaker, he is not a good speaker. And why we should go to the satsang? With subjective orientation. That way any satsang will help you. And if it is not conducive to your growth, automatically, without a comment. In fact, smart move would be you only contemplate on the self. Automatically the right satsang will come to you. The right teacher will come to you. The right the text will come to you. And some of you have had that experience. But for that, it has to be a subjective approach. Just like if you are ready, the teacher comes to you. If you are ready and seeking, then the right sadhana that is conducive to you, that will reveal itself. Bhed chal, sheep mentality is everyone is doing yoga, we will also do yoga. Everyone is talking about ignorance, we will also talk about ignorance. Everyone is talking about removing ignorance because ignorance leads to desire, avidya, kama, karma, ignorance leads to desire, desire leads to activity. So I will also keep repeating it like a parrot. But what is the impact of that statement? How is it applicable to me or not? I am the consciousness. From consciousness point of view, is there ignorance? Is there desire? Is there activity? Is it possible? We never think. We think only on the surface. We keep, as he said before, we are continuously stirring the top. Atmabodha says, the world which is full of attachments, aversions, etc. is like a dream. It appears to be real throughout its dream duration, swakale, but when awake, when wisdom dawns, it appears unreal. In other words, everyone dreams a dream only as a waking experience. The dreamer doesn't say that I am dreaming. The dreamer, while he is going through the dream, he thinks it's a real experience. And some event in that dream, which is being experienced as a real, meaning as a waking experience for the dreamer, some event in that wakes him up. Then he says after waking up, hey, that was a dream. Now apply it to here. We are also thinking this is the waking experience. It is very real. And Bhagwan is getting tired of waking us up. Every satsang he comes, he says, hey, wake up. And you say, yes, I am awake. And then very next moment after being awake, You nod, this world is a phenomena. You nod when we say this is a projection of the mind. You nod when we say infinite number of finite experiences cannot give you the experience of infinity. You nod. But you refuse to wake up. Therefore, in our Kathopanishad, he said, Uttishta Jagrata Prapya Varanya Bodhata Kshurasya Dhara Nihita Guhaya. It's so fine. The attention has to be so relaxed, so refined that it doesn't get stuck anywhere. Doesn't get stuck in the mind, doesn't get stuck in a thought, doesn't get stuck in a past or future, doesn't relive a memory as a thought, memory of meditation, memory of some experience. Every moment is ever fresh. Shurasya Dhara. So on one hand he is saying it is a double-edged sword, you can get cut. But on the other hand, the teacher is saying, remain alert, arise, awake to your true being. Not be arise and awake to the thoughts, not arise and awake to be the waker, dreamer or sleeper. Include also samadhi. Okay, we'll add that also. But samadhi is a healthy compared to the world. One less problematic person in the world roaming around. Better hai bhai, inside your room, not disturbing anyone. So, just as we wake up from the dream, only after waking up we say the dream was unreal, it is a figment of imagination, it was a projection of the mind. But when we were in the dream, we took it as real. Similarly, right now, we are in the waking dream, and when we wake up from this waking dream, we will give the same status to this waking dream. That it is an imagination, that it is a phenomena, that it is a projection of the mind. And who will wake up? Who is ready to wake up? You don't go to sleep forever. Do you every night when you go to bed, do you go to bed with the thinking, nah, I'm never going to get up? Do you go with that thought? You go to sleep with the thought that tomorrow I will wake up, and in between somewhere the dream comes about. But do you live in this, when you wake up, do you enter this world saying that I am never going to wake up? This thought never comes to our mind that I have to wake up from the waking world. Because we enjoy it so much. We indulge in it so much. We pursue it so much. We are attached to it so much. We have invested in it so much, just like the dreamer. But look at the picture that you go to sleep thinking of waking up. If you, while moving in this world, in the waking plane, if this background thought is always there, hey man, I have to wake up, I have to wake up to myself, Uttishta Jagrata, I have to be awake to my own essential nature, then everything you will do in this life, but that thought at the back is always there nudging that I need to wake up. And some event in this life, it will wake you up. The Guru might wake up, some word in the scripture might wake you up, maybe some mishap will wake you up, maybe some pain will wake you up. But you will wake up if you are available to waking up. In our case, what are we available to? We are available to indulgence in the world. We are not available to waking up. And therefore, and where do you make all these affirmations? You, in the sleep, you do not say, I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning. You say, in the waking, you say, I'm going to sleep so that I am refreshed in the morning, isn't it? In the waking, you say the dream was an imagination. So in the waking, you make an affirmation that I'm going to wake up to myself. What is your self-talk? Are we taking the world to be waking world to be real? So involve yourself in such activities where waking up is a possibility. What is that? Satsang. This is from relative standpoint. From absolute standpoint, you have never woken up only making yourself believe that you are no, you have never gone to sleep. You are making believe that you are not awake. Consciousness never sleeps. But see our language. I am awake now. I am not dreaming. I have to go tonight. This morning I woke up from sleep. Continuously same type of language, which is detrimental to us being the consciousness. It sabotages the whole satsang. The moment you take this position that I am a waker, that I am a dreamer, that I am a sleeper. Kshurasya dhara. So how do we communicate to ourselves about ourselves? Very, very important. Where are we? The dream which seems to be 100% real in the dream state of consciousness is totally rejected when that plane of consciousness is transcended. I have already explained that to you. Transcended means you have woken up, come into the waking state. So also, when one is in Ajnana Avastha, ignorance cannot be established, and when one wakes up to his own essential nature, ignorance is not. Can you go back to your husband, wife, children, house, your beautiful, healthy, handsome or beautiful body in the dream? In the dream you never age. You are always, suppose you are a very young, beautiful girl or a handsome boy, and when you wake up, अरे मेरे को क्या हो गया? I wish to go back to my dream body. Can you do that? Can't. You can't go back to the dream body. You can't go back to the dream wife. You can't go back to the dream children. Why abidance in the self is not happening? Because in the waking, I'm taking a different angle of approach. In the waking, we want to pursue spirituality, and and we don't want to surrender completely. Why? If I become realized, who will take care of my children? Will I be able to enjoy my grandchildren? Will I be able to? There are such a what do you call bucket list which I have not completed yet. I have to go to Antarctic. I have to take the Antarctic pole flight. I have not seen Argentina. I have not done that. I have not done this. You want to realize and still experience the world as it is right now. You have to bite the bullet. And that is what? When we wake up, we cannot go back to the dream world. So when you wake up from the waking world, you cannot come back to the waking world. What does this mean? That The just like the dream world has no value to you, you may remember it very faintly, this person, that person, etc. But there's no value. It doesn't influence you in any way. Some people are very intelligent. The dreams from 10, 15, 20 years, it keeps pursuing them. Exactly the same way, waking experience will stop having an influence on the person who has woken up from the waking dream. Are we ready for that? Are we ready for this bargain? But Swamiji, does it really happen that if I wake up to myself, then I can't, will I recognize my children? Will I recognize my house? Then who will pay my bills? Then who will do this? Then who will do that? What have you done? You have started stirring the surface again. You have forgotten you are the consciousness, you have come back to the phenomena. There can be no possibility of any doubt if you be the self. So also when one is in ajnana avastha, state of ignorance, ignorance cannot be established. And when one wakes up to his own essential nature, ignorance is not. Just like dream is not, waking also will be not. Waking, dream and deep sleep are expressions of ignorance. Deep sleep is the state of ignorance out of which the waking and dream have come out. All three become null and void. Then how will I live my life? Forget, you are the life, you don't have to live. Then will I be ghost? No body. Will I be ghost also has a body, ethereal body. That is also another imagination. The mind is so fertile with creativity, I tell you. Thus, from any angle, ignorance cannot be established. So, from ignorance point of view, ignorance is not. From waking point of view, ignorance is not, because you give it zero value, meaning dream is given zero value. Once you wake up from waking, waking is given zero value. So phenomena is equal to ignorance, is existing. Yesterday, last week also we said, or someone said, is existing in its own absence. What we are attached to in the waking world, this body, these senses, these thoughts, these concepts. And what is one concept? I am this body. What is another concept? I am the wife. What is third concept? I am the mother. What is the fourth concept? This world was there before I was born. All this is concepts only. And where did these concepts come from? Or where are they existing? In their own absence. Therefore, only our scriptures say, Upanishads say, you have to go beyond the word. Yato vacho nivartante, aprapya manasasaha. Who you are, what you are in essence, is beyond the words. Now, not someone else's words, your own words. Not only the physical, but also the mental thoughts. Aprapya manasasaha. It cannot be comprehended by the mind by way of thoughts, concepts, ideas, logic. I'm going to work out the self. It cannot. Either you are or you are not. You can work out the creation to some extent. All the Sankhya philosophy, Nyaya philosophy, Bhakti, Shastra, etc. is there. Karma Siddhant is there. All that is working out. But who you are cannot be worked out. The important point brought out in all these thoughts is that the only way one can get out of the commotion is to change the angle of vision from one of ignorance to that of wisdom. That is the only shift. Are we thinking of ourselves as one of the unit of this creation, or are we taking ourselves to be the source of this creation? Yesterday I went to someone's house. So when I was leaving, not yesterday, day before yesterday, or yesterday morning. So when all the goodbyes, bye-byes were going on, so she said, Swamiji, we love you. I said, yes, I love you too. The other one said, I also love you. I said, I love you also. I love everyone. And then she said, how? I said, my heart is, without breaking, it has been broken into thousands, millions, infinite number of pieces. Without having gone through any division, it has divided into infinite pieces. Is that not true with you? Your mind, without breaking, has become everything in the dream. So is true in the waking also. Angle of approach. Who do you consider yourself to be? If husband comes in front of you, do you immediately become wife, or you remain as the conscious principle? You are an imagination. Get out of my way. Consciousness cannot say get out of my way also. Yes. It's all subjective. It's not about the other. Are you thinking of the world, or are you being the self? Are you in the mind as the thought, or are you being the container? If at the relative level, the container in which all the thoughts are coming, the whole universe is coming. Or being one beyond the mind also. How much deep study, endless hours of attending classes, doing our homework, doing the exercises, for year 12 and exams, university exams, day in and day out we are doing our physics and mathematics and mechanical drawing and biology and algebra and trigonometry, just solving this various questions again and again and again and again, so that you become expert at it, not because you are mad. So that you become expert at it, and when the exam comes, you are the approach to the question is effortless. You prepare yourself. Think of the consciousness again and again as I, as which is of the nature of infinite. Now there is no answer to it. How can I, who is expressing in the body, be infinite? For that the scriptures are there to explain. Scriptures are there because you have this stupid question: how can the consciousness here be the consciousness everywhere? But if you remain with the consciousness as the consciousness that I am that, It will reveal. Then you don't need scriptures. Then you don't need scriptures. It is self-revealing. It is self-knowing. We say that always, isn't it? That is the quality of the, if at all we use the words. It is omniscient, omnipotent, chit ghana, nitya, eternal. The important point brought out in all these thoughts is that the only way one can get out of the commotion is to change the angle of vision from one of ignorance to that of wisdom. That is spiritual sadhana, the readiness and ability to change the point from which one views the world. From where do you view the world? Are you viewing the world as a wife, as a husband, as a mother, as one, as an individual, as the total, or as the infinite? Where are you sitting in yourself? Are you sitting in the virtual? Virtual will be the father, mother, daughter, sister. Are you sitting in the illusory, the individual self? Are you sitting in the total illusion, that is the total self, Brahmaji, Hiranyagarbha? Or are you sitting in the infinite as the infinite? Option is given, nobody can force it down your throat. It's only when you are convinced, you will automatically take that position. As if you are hooked to it. Like right now you are hooked to your husband, you are hooked to your wife, you are hooked to your children. When you give enough importance to the infinite or to the totality, then that will be the angle of vision that you will get. If someone who has, oh, this world is too much, I have bodies like this, they get hooked onto the body. I need to heal the body. And they start doing yoga. Morning, afternoon, evening, yoga, 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 yoga. Some intelligent out of them, they realize that, hey, body is only functioning because of the breath. Then they get hooked onto the breath, then they do pranayam, pranayam, pranayam. Then some get hooked to the mind, then they control their senses and chant some mantras and quieten the mind. Then they realize, oh, right, this mind, this is only individual, that is total mind. They are hooked onto the total, that is devotion, law, totality. Bhakti begins. What are you hooked onto? Where are you sitting? Are you sitting in the virtual self? Are you sitting in the illusory self? Or are you sitting in the absolute self? All are present at the same time. Are you sitting in the wave as the wave, individuality? Are you sitting in the ocean as the ocean, totality? Are you sitting in the water as the water, infinite, absolute? Where are you sitting? What is your angle of approach? From self point of view, absolute self point of view, there is no world at all. There is no question. From totality point of view, the angle of approach is, I am the whole world is me. I am pervading the world is not. I am seeing, hearing, touching, tasting everything, but everything is me alone. Just as I am seeing the hands, I am feeling the hands, I am touching the hands, I am smelling the hands, but the hand is me only. There is no doubt about it. This is just an example. Now don't go every hand let me smell, let me touch, let me taste. No. Just like no thought goes in your mind about your own body when everything is fine. Similarly, in the total self also, no thought goes on about the world because everything is the self alone. Only when some untoward thing happens, then the thought comes, then the reaction comes. Where are we sitting in ourselves? That is spiritual sadhana, the readiness and ability to change the point from which one views the world. Now you see, this ability is there with you. It is not something hi-fi that is being talked about that, oh man, you have to change the vision and you change the angle of approach to the world. Oh my God, I am sitting in individuality and now I have to shift to totality, or I have to shift my angle of approach. If the husband comes in front of you, the wife automatically expresses. Next moment the child comes in front of you, automatically the mother expresses. What sadhana you did to shift from wife to mother, to sister, to daughter? What sadhana you did at this moment also? Sometimes your attention is more on the vision, sometimes it is more on the words that are coming. If suddenly your attention shifts, body is aching, your attention goes to the body. What sadhana did you do to shift your attention from the five senses or to the body, from one sense to the other? Did you do any sadhana? It's spontaneous, it's instantaneous. Then why do we create a lag to shift from individual standpoint to total standpoint? Why do we create a lag? I have to do sadhana, Because you are not convinced. That's all. You don't love yourself. That's all. No, I love myself. Yes, you love yourself as a wife, as a mother, as a daughter, as a sister, as an individual, as this body. So you spend so much time in front of the mirror. You love yourself because you want to satisfy your desires, worldly desires. So you go to the temple, ask, I will do this puja, you give me this, I'll do that puja, you give me this. But when I say you don't love yourself, if you loved yourself, you will instantaneously, at this moment itself, you will be who you are. What sadhana does a wave need to do to realize that it is water? It is already water. It's already water. And in your life, the examples that I'm giving you, there is no lag. It's instantaneous, it's spontaneous. From the seer, you become the hearer. It's spontaneous. From wife, you become a mother. Spontaneous. That instantaneous and spontaneous, let me go one step back. Why does it happen spontaneously? Because you have no doubt that you are the wife or you are the mother. That's why it happens. And you have taken that role, that I am the wife or the mother. And instantaneously it happens. When you have no doubt about, so when you become the mother, do you deny the wife? No, it's just not important when the child is in front of you. If next moment a husband demands attention, immediately you will be the wife and you will keep shifting between the two without any disturbance. You'll keep taking when you're talking to your husband, wife, when you're talking to the child, is there any time any confusion with reference to the role that you are playing in front of? Do you ever become a mother to the husband or a wife to the child? Is there any, what do you call, admixture of the roles? Not possible, no? It is not in your experience. It has never happened. Then where has all this confusion come in our mind as regards the roles of the individual, as regards the role of the total, or as regards the role of the infinite? Why have we created this confusion within us? Because we are not convinced. Zara sochiye. Think. Just thinking like this, you are with yourself. Yes, it sounds just so natural, isn't it? You cannot refute what is being said right now because it is your direct experience. The same conviction as regards who we are essentially, what is the place of individuality, totality, what is infinity, what is the place of this creation which includes my body. All this must be crystal clear without any ambiguity. You don't look at another man and say, oh, I think, am I this fellow's husband, wife, or that fellow's wife? No doubt. Am I the mother of this child or that child? No doubt. Am I this body or that body? No doubt. When you are hearing, do you say, am I hearing or am I smelling? No doubt. I'm bringing your attention that you are, in essence, playing every role to the T because you have no doubt as regards what role you are playing. Now shift the game. Now shift the game. Rather from the worldly roles, you shift your attention to the individual, total, or infinite and start playing the game there. What will be the relationship of waking, dream, and sleep with respect to the consciousness that I am? First role. Second role, what would be the take of the total consciousness, which includes all consciousnesses, all individualities are within? What would be its interaction to everything and everyone? Wow. Play. Instead of watching the serial, instead of deciding what the menu is going to be tomorrow for filling the tummy, you make this menu of consciousness. What will be the take? What will be the take from absolute? If you can't come up with answers, then study the scriptures subjectively. That is spiritual sadhana, the readiness and ability to change the point from which one views the world. See? In deep sleep cannot be comprehended In the waking state also, the sleep cannot be comprehended because there is no sleep. We have already talked about that. In deep sleep, the deep sleep cannot be comprehended because there is nobody there. Oh, there is a waker, there is a dreamer. Is there a deep sleeper who is experiencing the deep sleep? There is no individual there. Because how can you know that which is not? Deep sleep state is absence. How can you know absence? You cannot know absence. In the waking state, deep sleep state cannot be comprehended. In the waking state also, the sleep cannot be comprehended because there is no sleep. Don't challenge us. We'll show you we can sleep in the waking also. But yes, in the waking, sleep is not available. Yes, you do make a conclusion that I had a good sleep, but in the waking, sleep is not available. Dream is also not available. The point made is that the deep sleep as well as the waking states are because of me. See, the conclusion is not validating waking and dream or sleep. The conclusion is validation of the consciousness that I am, the eternal witness that I am, the Sakshi that I am. I am that in whose presence the waking is coming and going every day, the dream is coming and going every day, and their absence is happening every day. Are we taking that position? Or are we in the satsang, we are taking that position? The moment satsang gets over, we again slip back into the world and take a relative position, worldly position of the individual rather than being a Sakshi. This is Kshurasya Dhara, not allowing yourself to slip into a relative role. Because the moment you take a relative role, then you will be cut, bruised, birth, growth, disease, decay, death. You will be body identified. You will have past, future. You will have birth, death. This is all result of Kshurasya Dhara. You will be cut in 1,000 pieces. Slow death. And you take position of consciousness. You are deathless. You are transcended. The point made is that the deep sleep as well as the waking states are because of me. I am the source. If I am not there, waking is not possible. If I am not there, the dream is not possible. If I am not there, the sleep is not possible. This is the negative way of looking at it, passive way. Positive way, in my presence the waking appears, in my presence the dream appears, in my presence the absence of the two comes about. All these waking dreamer, they come and go. I continue to be the same. I never come and go. They are changing. I am continuous. Who is aware of their coming and going? Therefore, this I, the pure consciousness, is the reality and not the deep sleep. This consciousness, this unchanging one, this constant one is the reality and not the deep sleep out of which the waking and dream come, or they are all coexisting, supporting each other. It is neither, therefore the world is not born out of, where are we? Therefore this I, the pure consciousness, is the reality and not the deep sleep or the dream nor the waking states. Therefore the world is not born out of ignorance. Then what is pervading everything? Is the wave born out of ignorance? Or is the wave nothing but the infinite waters So if you are a wave called the individual, are you born out of ignorance? Are you the conscious I? Are you a result of ignorance? Or are you the infinite consciousness? It, therefore, the world is not born out of ignorance. It is neither delusion nor illusion. The world is Lord's Vibhuti, the glory. This is Ishvara Advayavad. Kashmiri Shaivism is based on Ishvara Advayavad. So here the attention is not given on the Maya. The attention is not given on the forgetfulness and the projection of the world. Your attention is given that the Lord alone is, the Ishwar alone is. Yes, we understand him that through his potentiality the whole thing is going on, but without the Ishvara, who is the infinite principle, that one Paramashiva alone becomes Shiva and Shakti. Just because we are using the word Shiva and Shakti doesn't mean there are two. There is only one. Just because people call you mother and wife and sister doesn't mean that you have become three. You are still the one woman. Exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. The woman alone is pervading all the roles. Ishvara alone, here, Ishvara alone is pervading everything that is seen and unseen. That which is finite and infinite or total. Everything is pervaded. Everything is a vibhuti or glory or expression of that infinite one alone. And that is the prakriya of our scriptures. Know this without a doubt. And you can only know it without a doubt when you apply it on yourself and you see the whole creation as Ishvara is experiencing his creation, you are also experiencing the creation. Then you will come to know Ishvara and you are not two, you are one. The phenomena of Shiva and Shakti is going on, Ishvara and Prakriti is going on. It's unstoppable. But because of that, the Paramashiva is not lost. It is his glory. But we get lost in the Vibhuti, get attached to the Vibhuti and crystallize into an individuality and lose the plot. Ishwar doesn't lose the plot. So raise yourself to the Ishwaratva. Then if you keep thinking the way you are thinking, it will never happen. Satsang is the language by which we are able to transform ourselves, transform our thinking, take the different approach, look at everything in a different angle. For some it will click straight away, for some it will be they have heard, they have become convinced, they will contemplate on it later. Some will put the Zoom off and go away because, this is too much, I can't handle this. That is also okay. Never to yad gatva nivartante aprapya paramam. See, in this approach there is no emotion. Bhav is there, but emotion is not there. When Arjuna says that I am your devotee and I am your disciple, these are the two. Ek taraf bhav or ek taraf disciple is ready to change. And as a devotee, continuous blessings are coming. bhav. When you keep looking at the Lord as the Lord without any doubt, you become one with the Lord. You merge into the Lord. The individual consciousness starts expressing as the total consciousness. That example is given in our Upanishads. I think last week also it came. That a wasp is sitting, and when the larvae is there or pupae is there, the wasp comes and sits, and the baby wasp keeps looking at the mother wasp in the cocoon and becomes the wasp. What are you looking at? Are you looking at the world and becoming the world, or are you looking at the infinite or totality or Ishvara and be one with the Ishvara? Allow him to express through you. For that, this jnana and bhakti, these two wings have to be developed. Jnana without conviction, bhav, complete surrender to that ultimate principle. It is neither delusion nor illusion. Yes, from logic point of view, when Shankaracharya talks about neti neti and anvaya, all that is good. That is another approach. That is another approach. There it begins with avidya kama karma. We are all lost in karma. So why the karma came about? Because we have kama, desire. Where did desire come about? It came from ignorance. Ignorance is about what? Ignorance is about your essential nature. So from where we are taken back to our essential nature. And whatever are the pitfalls on the way, that they were enumerated. But in Ishvara Dvayavad, from beginning till end, the position is taken that Ishvara is everything. And that Ishvara is not other than the self that you are. It is neither delusion nor illusion. The world is the Lord's vibhuti. So don't take the person who is coming in front of you as an enemy or as a dear one or someone to be attached to or someone to be rejected. Someone is ugly, such a handsome person. Someone told me yesterday, Swami, I'm going to see this movie. Why do you go to see these movies? Oh, I like to see the handsome men in the movie, heroes in the movie. Where she said, that person said it just offhandedly, but you catch where her attention is on the handsomeness of the men. Where is the mind stuck? Socho. Wherever you are sitting in yourself, that type of communication will come out involuntarily. In this one without a second principle, ekam eva advitiyam, there is no knower known knowledge separation. The triputi is not there. The seer seen seeing, hearer heard hearing, experiencer experienced experiencing, knower known knowing, subject object and the instrument of knowledge. This triputi is absent. In whom? In the absolute self. In the conscious, in the presence that you are, it is absent. The Shuddha Aham is the only reality. Vedaischa sarvai ahameva vyaha. Other than I, nothing else is. अभी अपना वो एक्सपीरियंस नहीं है With regards to the dream, it is there that everything was nothing but my mind. This has not become our take as with reference to this waking world yet. And because the dream is nothing but my mind, therefore no need to give it too much credence, no need to think about it too much. And what are we doing in the waking? Thinking about the waking too much. How to survive, how to plan ahead, what will happen if pension is not given, what will happen when I do this, I do that, I have to do dana, punya. And it goes on and on and on and on and on. Our responsibility is not to maintain the world or improve the world. Our responsibility is to recognize that we are the infinite consciousness, full stop. And don't allow anything else to come and corrupt that approach. Jnaneshwar Maharaj is again and again telling us to focus on this principle of sentiency. आज के लिए, for today, this much is enough. Keep contemplating, keep contemplating. Be subjective. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om.